Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope, Louisville's original live TV sports talk show. I'm your host, Greg Brom. Our number, 964-2121, 964-2121, the Goomer & Company Buzz line. Give us a call. If you've been watching the Oscars, you're tired of looking at George Clooney, well, I have a break. I'm going to give you a little reprieve from having to watch George Clooney. We have our own star with us today, John Spears.
It's more like
from
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, absolutely, from the St. X Radio and Television Network. John, thanks for coming on board tonight. We're going to start right off with Louisville and Kentucky basketball. And today, Louisville, in an ugly, slow game, really, beat Pitt 57-54. And Louisville needed the victory, John, but it seems like Louisville does play down to the level of their competition. You know, if they have to play up to a Syracuse, to a West Virginia on the road, they do so. But playing Pitt today, it was really kind of a muddy, ugly game.
Yeah, it was ugly, and you're right. They played at the level of the competition. They did that at Cincinnati last week. That was a difficult game for them. They had to they had to slug away at Cincinnati. It didn't work out. Had to slug away again today. It wasn't quite as ugly as the Cincinnati-South Florida game that I watched before it that ended in the 40s. But it was still an ugly way. And U of L has got to push the pace. No matter who they're playing, they've got to get the ball up and down the floor offensively. Sometimes it's okay to take the quickest shot.
Well, that's why all this criticism of Russ Smith throughout the season has boggled my mind, because he's a guy that when everybody else just stands in quicksand, he goes up and down the court. He makes things happen. Today he had 18 points. And I know Rick talked about picking the pace up, but to me, John, that's something you could control with your offensive pace. I mean, when you get the ball, go fast.
Well, I think they're so intent on getting Gorgui Dieng involved a lot and Shane Bohannon involved, which is a good thing when you're in the half court. But I think with Russ Smith and Peyton Siva and even a guy like Chris Smith and Kyle Keurig, who's spotting up when they are running the floor, those are things that can work to your advantage offensively. And for them, they want to score points. They don't want to win the game on the defensive end, I don't think. Gorgui Dieng is great inside defensively. They play pretty good on-ball defense, but they want to win the game offensively, and I think they can steal a lot of points from a lot of teams on the fast break.
They've learned to win games in the 50s this year. I mean, they might not want to play slow, but they've done a decent job of it. They beat Vandy in a 52-50 game. They win today, 57-54.
The problem with those games is, if you get down to the end of those games, anybody can win them in the last 2 minutes. And you're talking about beating a team today that you're a lot better than, but you let them stay in the game by slowing it down.
Well, that puts you in jeopardy in the NCAA first round.
Sure.
If you play an opponent in the first round, maybe one you're much better than normally, you're playing that pace of a game, it's going to go down to the end. It's anybody's ball game. When you look at Louisville shooting free throws the way they have, and today they missed 2 front ends of one. The problem with Louisville, not only missing their percentage, 18 for 28, which is in the 60s, but a lot of the misses are front ends of 1-and-1. So you're giving free throws away. You're not even getting to the back end of that 1-and-1. And today, again, missed a couple of free throws late, but did hit. Bohannon ended up hitting 2, and Peyton ended up hitting 2 down the stretch. But that's an Achilles heel.
You can only hit 6 1-and-1s a game by the numbers, and they seem to miss them all.
They do.
They're fine when it's 2 shots, but 1-and-1 kills the Cards.
Absolutely. And then Louisville lost earlier this week at Cincinnati. I still think Louisville, though, is in position, John, 22-7. They're 10-6 in the Big East. I think if they split even, they're probably a 4 seed. I think they're still a 4 seed. But if you sweep this week, you beat South Florida at home, if you can pull that game off at Syracuse, now you're talking about a double bye maybe in the Big East tournament. Now you're talking about the potential of solidifying a 4 seed. And if you make a run in the Big East tournament, how about a 3 seed?
Well, they need help to finish with that double bye. Georgetown's going to have to lose a couple, or they're not going to get there. A split is okay. You're still going to be 5 or 6 in the conference. Cincinnati losing today actually helps the Cards because now they can beat South Florida on their own. South Florida got their 11th conference win today.
Big game for South Florida Wednesday, even though they're probably in, though, with 11 wins.
It's absolutely huge. I don't think they're in just yet, South Florida. Their out of conference was terrible. They've only got 4 road wins on the year, but they happen to be in the Big East. So You got to beat South Florida. That puts you in a great spot to finish 5 or 6 in the league, which means you have a pretty easy first game, and then you go into that double bye situation.
Okay, Kentucky yesterday wins 83-74. They were challenged throughout the game by Vandy. Vandy played them strong. I mean, played them toe-to-toe for the entire game. If it wasn't for Anthony Davis and his dominance, I mean, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 block shots, and he was almost perfect shooting from the field. Kentucky, without him playing that well, that winning streak might come to an end yesterday.
Well, Anthony Davis was unbelievable. He solidified Player of the Year in Division I, no question about that.
I think he did. They're talking about Thomas Robinson of Kansas, but Davis with the
not
way
after
the
that
team,
game on national television.
One loss the entire year. I think you got to give it to Davis.
And I think with this team, the good thing about them is they know how to win a lot of different ways. If you slow it down against them, they're awful tough offensively. They got guys that can shoot the ball this year better than they have in Calipari's tenure there. And defensively, they are unbelievable. Of course, it's a lot easier to be unbelievably great defensively when you've got a guy back there in the back of that pack that can swat anything.
It makes it a lot easier to play defense. It absolutely does. And
we'll talk about Vandy later, too, a little bit.
We will. Marcus Teague has been playing a lot better. He puts in 16 points. And we've been talking about, is it better for Kentucky to lose a game in the regular season, or can a tight victory like this refocus you enough to where you kind of reset yourself and you realize somebody can beat you if you don't come to play?
I don't think this team needs to lose a game. I think they could lose a game next weekend.
Would you feel less nervous in the tournament if they lost to Florida on the road?
Not really, because I think this team has a different mindset in that refuse to lose attitude they have. They know how to win. They know what it takes at the end of games to win close games. So I don't feel quite as nervous about it, but I really think Florida is going to ambush them next weekend, and it's a thing that can relieve a little of the pressure, although I don't think they need that relief.
All right, well, I think Kentucky's going to go into the tournament maybe as one of the most dominant #1 overall seeds we've had in many years. But who can beat Kentucky? I mean, we've talked about Kentucky maybe losing at Florida, but when you get in a tournament situation, there's only a few teams out there that even have the manpower to pull off an upset. John, your top 5 teams that could beat Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, here they are right now.
Well, Syracuse is still Joe Lunardi's overall #1 seed. Out of the Big East with that defense, that zone they use, they are always scary. They've only got 1 loss. Michigan State's playing as good as anybody right now, and they're physical. They're physical and experienced, and that's a bad combination when you have to play them no matter who you are.
Louisville knows that from 2009.
Carolina and Ohio State. Henson and Harrison Barnes stayed at Carolina this year. Sullinger and Buford stayed at Ohio State. Both those teams love a shot to knock Kentucky off after what happened last year. And I put Vanderbilt in there because they're senior-led. They can shoot from the outside, and they can play physical now with Festus Ezeli back on the inside. They play Kentucky pretty tough twice. It's hard to beat a good team 3 times.
Well, I tell you what, they're not intimidated by Kentucky. And when you look at that list of 5 teams, John, the way Ohio State lost, and North Carolina could be a #2 seed, North Carolina, Ohio State, and Vandy, all 3 could end up in Kentucky's region, in their bracket. And if Carolina's a 2, CBS and the NCAA would love to see a UK-Carolina Elite 8 matchup.
Those Elite 8 games, CBS loves to have premier matchups, whether it's UK-Duke, UK-North Carolina. Throw Kansas in the mix there with any of those teams. When UCLA's good, they want great games that will draw numbers for the television, and that's what they're looking for.
All right, give us a call, 964-2121. Who can beat Kentucky this year? And react to U of L winning today over Pitt in a kind of slow, ugly game. Rick Pitino wants to pick up the pace. The Cards need to dictate that a little more than just waiting for it to happen. Give us a call, 964-2121. When John and I come back, we'll talk 6th and 7th region girls and boys tournament action this week at Bellarmine, the Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by Sam Swope.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Goomer & Company Jewelry is proud to celebrate our 40th anniversary.
Hello, I'm Bruce Goomer, founder and owner of Goomer & Company. This is a family business, and we'd like to thank you for choosing Goomer & Company. My family and I look forward to being your jewelry store for years to come.
For over 40 years, we've been the largest gold, silver, and diamond dealer in the area.
Come see us on Hurstburn Parkway or visit goomerjewelry.com and experience the Goomer difference.
Small in size takes the prize. Rally's new flavor-loaded boxes with new fish bites, crispy and delicious wild-caught Alaskan fish, or chicken bites, juicy white meat chicken and poppable bites. Top off the box with seasoned fries. Your choice, fish or chicken, just $2. Set your sights on bites, only at Rally's. Feast on.
Try Rally's classic wings in 5 kickin' flavors.
Welcome back to the iTech Studios here at the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope. Make sure you listen to 1450 as well. I've got the shirt on, the Sports Buzz 1450 WQKC. My show's on every weekday from 5 to 6. We got Mason in the morning, Dan Patrick, Johnny the Freak Renshaw. We got a great lineup for you. And tonight we've got a great guest in John Spears from the St. X Radio and Television. You got St. X TV network yet? You're working on that?
It's on the way.
It's on the way, just like the Fighting Irish, man. You got Notre Dame. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, but this will be the guy when it does. We've got Rick with us in the Goomer & Company Buzz line.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
My comment is I'll give credit where credit's due. I called last week and said Peyton was giving me gray hairs, but the last couple of games he's really coming around. He's looking more like the Peyton Siva of last year. My biggest problem with my cards is these droughts that were going on, these 8-minute droughts, 10-minute droughts, and I think that's what's going to get us knocked out, like I said last week, in the first round of the big dance, because every team that's going to be picked is to be better than Pitt. And to me, won today, but it was Pitt. You know what I mean? But as far as Kentucky goes, I think that they're going to win it all. I'm not a UK fan, but I got to give credit where it's due. I think they're going to win it all. I have the same list that John has, except I'll have Duke instead of Mandy. And,
you don't want to see Duke? I don't know. I think Kentucky want to see Duke, though, Rick, to be honest with you. And talking about the droughts first, that's how you lose to a Moorhead or somebody else similar in the tournament, is if you go 8 minutes without scoring. And Louisville does tend to go long stretches without scoring. That's where a guy like Russ Smith, and I've been his biggest cheerleader, I think, this year in the local media, because I'd like to see him play 35 minutes a game. Because when you can't score as a team, he might drive you crazy, he might look wild and out of control, but he'll hit a shot like that.
And I think Peyton Siva's sort of the same way. He's a guy you need on the floor. Sure, he's going to get himself in trouble sometimes, but more often than not, he's going to make something happen positive for you, especially when you're running up and down the floor. With Siva and Smith, you got a couple of options there.
In Kentucky, they wouldn't be scared of Duke, would they?
Duke is the least of the worries, I think. Carolina, Ohio State, Michigan State, Syracuse, those are the kind of teams with veterans and with big inside presence that you have trouble with. The Plumlees at Duke don't really scare Terrence.
And we saw Zealy did have some
Davis.
Success with his brawn and bulk inside, even though Davis is dominant over everybody. But it seemed like a guy like that causes a few problems. Let's go to Handsome.
No, Greg, I got one of them sweatshirts too, man. It looks good. Hey, I'm seeing that logo on top of that.
You're going to see them all over the city, Handsome. They're just taking the Louisville area by storm.
Hey, no, Greg. Hey, Greg and John, I really believe. I mean, these shooting droughts. I mean, like Coach P said last year, we're going to a up-tempo game. Just 3 seconds to get over mid-court line, and then the offense 20 seconds to shoot the ball, whatever. I wish we'd go back to that, because I'm like the other Tom. I'm worried about these droughts. I'm like you, Greg. Russ Smith's got to be in the game. I mean, he's a scorer. He creates things. That's just the way it is. And John, on your list there, I mean, I know you and Greg said you worried about Duke, but, you know, they beat North Carolina at North Carolina, and they shoot the ball outstanding. And that would be a team I think would give that team up the road trouble. Greg, you got a great show, buddy, and great guest.
Thanks, Handsome.
Well, Jimmy, what I think is that Kentucky guards the perimeter so well, and with Davis in the back of that defense, Plumlee's not being real athletic guys like an Ezeli or like a John Henson or Harrison Barnes or Sullinger, then you just guard the three, and they don't get threes off.
You know, a team not on your list is Louisville. And not that Louisville, do I think, you know, Louisville, and you can't say they can beat Kentucky because they haven't done it since Cal's been there. But if you look back at how other teams have played Kentucky, Louisville actually played them almost as good as anybody has since the IU game. I mean, Louisville uglied it up. They got Davis in foul trouble. It was tied in the second half. What if Louisville was in that bracket?
Well, I compared it to St. X and Trinity. In football last year and in basketball this year so far, St. X can't beat Trinity, but in a rivalry game, anything can happen. And so obviously they don't want to play the Louisville Cardinals. They're hoping the Cards will get knocked out before they can reach Kentucky. But I still think Kentucky is a prohibitive favorite against Louisville right now. Again, the Cards have to run. And Kyle Kuric today, after a bad game in Cincinnati, showed senior leadership today and knocked down a few threes.
All right, Tay, the truth is up, and IU wins today 69-50 over Tubby Smith. And you might have run Tubby right out of Minnesota, Truth.
Well, Mr. Brown, we're supposed to win on the road. I got one problem. I hope they put Indiana in the bracket with Louisville or Kentucky in the tournament.
You do, huh? You think that you could beat Kentucky a second time, Truth?
Yeah, because we'll kill Louisville. Louisville won't be no game. We'll beat I want to play Kentucky in the Young Center.
That would be wonderful. Kentucky would love a bye. But the other thing is, I don't think you want to play Louisville either. You know, Louisville's, when they're playing well and when they're running and shooting well, they're going to be tough to beat.
Notre Dame beat Louisville, right?
Notre Dame?
Yeah, Notre Dame beat Louisville, right?
Sure, yeah.
Sure, Notre Dame's pretty good, Truth.
Indiana beat Notre Dame by 18 points.
Yeah.
Well, you got a good resume, Truth, but you have lost to Iowa. You have lost 7 games in the Big Ten.
Lost to Minnesota at home.
I think it's a victory for IU just getting in the tournament. Anything else is gravy. I think they could win a couple of games.
Yeah, they're going to be a decent seed, and I think they're going to, depending on matchups, have a great chance to get to the second weekend.
All right, our number 964-2121. Give us a call. We're going to turn now to high school basketball. We're going to start with the girls' 6th and 7th region brackets. They're going to be playing this week. I think the finals are at Bellarmine over the weekend. But let's throw up the first round games. We don't have the girls. Well, our guys, that's you know, we got to get our guys to, you know, not equal opportunity. Equal opportunity. But let's talk about the girls bracket. Sure. This year, Manual and Mercy, who are the 2 best teams, you know, in Jefferson County, they changed the brackets up. Mercy now in the 6th region, so prohibitive favorite to win the 6th. Manual the 7th. Is that how you see it?
That's exactly how I see it. And the beauty of it for both teams is it's a natural rivalry in the last few years. You never knew who was going to win that game. So Mercy and Butler, I see getting to the 6th region finals. Mercy by far the better team in that region. And Manual, number 1 team in the state, may be untouchable. They're averaging win is 45 points a game in the last half of the season. I see them playing Sacred Heart in the championship of the 7th region, and they already beat them by 30. So Manual, Mercy, prohibitive favorites to go to the girls.
And Manual lost, I believe, in the state championship game last year.
Yes, they did.
Mercy, I have to say, I have to brag a little bit. The Roush twins are my first cousins, and Christine won the 6th region player of the year, and Courtney actually got a couple of votes. The other twin, 2 about 6-foot forwards that are going to Northern Kentucky. But we're going to come back in a moment, talk about the 6th and 7th region boys, and John has predicted a very interesting matchup in the final of the 7th region. We want to hear from you. 964-2121, the Goomer & Company Buzzline. Be back in a moment. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope.
Pimp out your ride at Smart Shoppers, 4200 Produce Road. That's Smart Shoppers, 4200 Produce Road to pimp out your ride. They are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They are the largest car audio dealer in the city of Louisville. No better place for paint or body work in the city than Smart Shoppers. You need rims, stereos, amps, paint, anything you need. Call 964-6652 or go to smartshoppers.com. That's Smart Shoppers, 964-6652.
I wish I had a decent truck with my kind of credit.
I'm Jeannie Jules, and there are no rules at Jim Brown Auto Sales if your credit isn't right. We've got cars to suit your needs and prices to delight. So you don't need 3 wishes, you'll soon see, because at Jim Brown Auto Sales, we make wishes reality. I'm Julie Brown, and my daddy has over 150 ways to make your wishes come true. Who's your daddy? 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 Daddy?
Hi, Joe here for Joe's OK Bayou. A lot has changed since we opened the doors here 15 years ago.
Gas was around $1 per gallon. Blue Story was a craze.
Long hair was in, and I was single. But one thing that hasn't changed here at Joe's is the exceptional value and great service you get each and every day. Stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch special, nightly $3 off dinner specials, a great happy hour, even $1.99 kids meals every Sunday. There's a reason why we've had the best Cajun in town for the past 15 years.
Who says change is good?
Joe's OK Bayou. It's okay by me.
Have you been injured in an accident this weekend? Don't wait. Call Kaufman, Stigger & Hughes anytime for a free consultation. Fighting insurance companies can be overwhelming after an accident. Go to GetTheTiger.com and get the Tiger on your side.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.
We now have a new feature on our website. It's auctions. You can bid for even better prices on all the great items we have here at 21 Live. Go to our website, shop21live.com.
21 Live.
All right, we have an Oscar update for you. The director from The Artist wins Best Director. Best Actor goes to the guy who starred in The Artist, who we have no idea what his name is. And has anybody seen The Artist? Probably not. John, I have not seen any of the Best Picture nominees, even though Moneyball is one I want to see. But it's gotten to the point now that every movie that's nominated, nobody ever goes watch those movies.
Well, Jean Dujardin is the winner for Best Actor. So some of us do pay attention, Greg, even though we don't.
You're more cultured than me, that you can pronounce his name.
I've seen Moneyball, which was great, and Bridesmaids, which was as funny as The Hangover.
Yeah,
so.
that was funny.
2 out of 9.
In honor of The Artist, we might just go silent the rest of the show, but you read our lips and mime it out. They probably would.
They probably would like it.
All right, we're going to turn to 6th and 7th region boys basketball, and our Mel Chauvinist production crew back there actually has the graphic for those 2 tournaments this week. And we'll go to the 6th region. And John, Bullitt East, Derek Willis at Bullitt East. The 6th region looks a little different this year because Moore and J-Town actually have moved over to the 6th region. PRP is always the traditional power in that region as well. But how do you see this playing out?
Well, the moves in the offseason make the 6th region a lot stronger now. J-Town PRP is the best first-round game, without question, probably in the state for the regional tournaments. But I love Bullitt East's draw. They got a Fairdale team they should handle. They should win their second game, while PRP, J-Town, and Moore are beating up on each other. I really like McKay and this Moore team, but I see Bullitt East defending their 6th region title, beating Moore in the championship game of the 6th region.
Yeah, I mean, the past few years, the 7th region has been the tougher region, but I wouldn't say so this year. I think the 6th region is more competitive than the 7th, and basically, when you look at the 7th, it's been a down year, I think, overall from the traditional powers, Eastern Ballard. And Ballard, while they're probably the 2nd best team in the region, the gap is bigger between them and Trinity, and then it's obviously than it's ever been, because Ballard's always been the one on top. Trinity is the team to beat. I've seen them play multiple times, John, but they got a pretty tough draw when you think they have to play Ballard in the semifinals.
They did get a tough draw, and Ballard got a real tough draw. They really hurt themselves by losing their district final. They get a Jimmy Just coach Manual team that's awful good in the first round. The winner of that will be taking on probably Trinity. So that side of the bracket is kind of loaded. On the other side, St. X has beaten Seneca handily. They beat Eastern handily this season. They lost by 1 in the season opener to Central. So I like St. X and Trinity in the finals, which will fill up Bellarmine's Knights Hall.
Wow.
On a Monday
I would love
night.
to see St. X Trinity playing for the 7th Region Basketball Championship. And, John, you've seen St. X play a lot this year. Really a great coaching job by Kevin Klein. He won the 7th Region Coach of the Year award. St. X back in the 20-win category. What has impressed you about the Tigers this year?
Well, they've won 8 in a row. Their coach has been having some family problems with his daughter, a partial liver transplant, Kevin Klein. This team has really come together. Like I said, they won their last 8 games. And this team's playing as well as any St. X team I've seen since 2003. And that was a pretty good team. They won their first district title since 2001 the other night with a comeback win over Mail. And usually St. X is playing teams that you don't want to play in the tournament. St. X is now the team that you don't want to play in this 7th Region tournament. It's a great turnaround. And Kevin Klein and his staff have done a fabulous job.
I tell you, Trinity fans out there have really looked at this team and said, this is the year. I mean, Trinity is the team to beat, even if they get to Rupp Arena. But can you imagine if St. X is the team in their path to go to the Sweet 16 in that 7th Region final? I mean, that'll be the hardest ticket to get in a long time. I hope to see it. Can you get me in? You got some pull over there?
I'll take care of you.
All right. We got Brandon on the Goomer & Company buzz line. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, what's happening, man? Hey, how in the world are these teams getting in there like Seneca and Fairdale? How can you let a team that doesn't even have a winning record in the playoffs, man? This is like playing outside in the backyard or something with pizza baskets and milk cartons, man. This is ridiculous. What is this? Just a warm up or something? What's up? I got Trinity, man. Trinity all the way, baby.
I don't disagree with that last part. Trinity is the #1 in the state. They're the best team I've seen. I've said all year I thought Ballard was the only team in the 7th Region that can beat them. I think there's a lot of teams in there that can beat Ballard, but conversely, Ballard I think may be the only team that can beat Trinity. And they may face in that semifinal game, which again should pack Knights Hall. As far as some of these teams being in the tournament, each district has at least 4 teams. So 2 teams that are worse than these are already gone. So you have to look at it that way as well, and you got to give everybody a chance.
Well, I tell you
if
what,
you remember
I mean,
Milan High School from
absolutely.
Indiana, you never know.
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, everybody has a shot. And if you really look at college basketball now, I know that 68 teams get in, but really everyone does have a shot, because if you count the conference tournament, I don't care if you've lost every game. If you're in a conference tournament, if you win it, you get in. And if you get on a run, you can win the championship. So actually, everybody's part of the NCAA tournament if you really
don't forget,
extend it out.
UConn finished 9th in the Big East last year.
They did finish 9th in the Big East. Right. The 9th team in the Big East this year might not get in.
Might not.
All right. Hey, John, thanks for joining us. We look forward to those tournaments this week, and we'll see you next Sunday night, Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by Sam Swope.